What's up, my Crusaders for Christiana the Joe? Go to YouTube, go to @go team, like and subscribe. I want to talk about something, y'all. I might have to do a couple of takes to do this just because YouTube Shorts, but I had the privilege to have a Holy Spirit-filled conversation with the senior pastor, Nick, from Redemption Railroad. And you guys, if you don't know who that is, look him up. He's absolutely incredible. Truly given up his land, his brick and mortar home, everything to follow Jesus. And Jesus led him to carrying a 100-pound cross across this country. And he preaches the gospel, and he is just all in for the Lord. It is so beautiful. That is a man of God. But we were talking about why churches don't talk about the red letters anymore. That even children who don't know how to read can pick up a Bible and stop at the red words, and they know that it's important. And you guys, that stuck with me all day. The why. The red letters are the words of Jesus Christ, yet often we put more emphasis on the commentary around them than the voice of the one who gives us life. Jesus tells us plainly in John 14:23-24, I'm not going to read it all, but if you love him, that you're going to know his words, that you're going to keep his words. And the love of Christ that you have is tied directly to his words. Pastor was telling me that most people can't even tell him something that Jesus said. I challenge you guys, try that. Ask those around you whenever you're talking about the Lord. Ask him to give you just a quote from Jesus and see if that's true for the people in your life too. But anyway, we don't need to just focus on Paul's letters and the prophets, but Jesus' words. And if we're honest, many pulpits spend more time quoting the opinions of men and focusing on entertainment, big screens, and skinny jeans than simply letting the red letters breathe life into the congregation instead of preaching a stale message. Jesus himself warned us in Matthew 7:24-26, and again, read it. But it talks about building your house upon the rock and building your house upon the sand, and how ignorance and lack of wisdom is tied to the foolish man who builds his house upon the sand. When we neglect the red letters, we are building our house on the sand. We wonder why the storms of life come and they knock us down and they shake our faith. It's because we built on theology fragments instead of on the cornerstone, the voice of the one that gives us life. Paul even tells us not that his words are weaker in comparison to Jesus, that Jesus' words are above his own in 1 Corinthians 11:1.